Did you see the stylish kids?
Welcome to the Young IPA Podcast. I'm James, this is Pete.
G'day, everyone.
Now, it is the 23rd of January, and this is episode 142. Loaded show coming up. Because here's what we got. We've got Dr. Anthony Dillon on the show, and we've also got Dr. Bella DeBrera on the show, and also sitting next to us for the people watching on YouTube. So two doctors. Pete, we are learned scholars.
Wow.
And we keep counsel with other learned scholars.
I hadn't thought about this week, but yeah, we have got two doctors on the show, and we better lift our game.
We have lifted our game because we are learned scholars, Pete.
Yeah.
All right, pick us up. All right, and it is going to be an Australia Day themed episode. There's a lot that we need to discuss, which is why we've got Bella on at the start of the show, because the IPA commissioned a poll on people's attitudes towards Australia Day, and it's come back, and we'll talk about that. And then we're also going to be talking to Dr. Anthony Dillon about, you know, the fact that the only thing that gets brought up when you talk about Indigenous affairs every year is Australia Day. Yep. So what are those issues that we should be talking about? And Anthony is awesome as always on that. We've got a bunch of other stuff on the show. Anything you're looking forward to, Pete?
Mate, I sort of always say my hero to this question, but I do like my hero this week. He's going to be great.
Okay, fantastic.
Ooh, gave it away.
That it is male. But all right, so we'll figure out who that is soon. But Dr. Bella DeBrera, she's with us right now. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's lovely to be back.
Thank you. And you're also on the quiz, which is something we're all looking forward to. But let's talk about it because the poll comes back in. We get a whole bunch of media on it. We'd even do a video, which I think we have a taste of right now.
71% of us want to continue to celebrate Australia Day on the 26th of January. So, on this day, the 26th of January, enjoy being free. Happy Australia Day.
And let's talk about some of the stats, because the stats, as I see them, the main ones, 71% of Australians support Australia Day being celebrated on January 26. Only 11% think the date should actually be changed, with everyone else sort of being, I don't know. Even more interesting to me was it was 57% of young people support keeping the date where it is, and only 18% of young people want to think about, so only 18% of people want it changed, which is definitely not the media narrative, which every year, which shows that, like, you know, the media would have you believe that all young people just want it changed immediately, but it's actually 57%. So, Bella, what are your main takeaways from this poll?
Yes, so my main takeaways are that it just exposes this huge divide that is very evident in Australian society, in English society, in American society, where you have the general populace thinking one way and a very vocal and very activist elite minority thinking another way. And what I find interesting about the Australia Day poll is that we're told throughout the year how bad we are. We're told that we have to think badly of ourselves. It's this kind of, you know, scourging ourselves about how terrible we are, how terrible our history is, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It is not working, because every year that we do the poll, it comes back majority of Australians, mainstream Australians, are proud to be Australian, proud of our history. You know, people aren't walking around, you know, hanging their heads in shame.
Yeah, I'll give those stats. So it's 71% of people believe Australia has a history to be proud of, only 13% disagree, and 70% believe there should be less political disagreement about Australia Day, and only 11% disagree. And it just, like, it keeps going around that same sort of mark, where there's only like 11 of 15% of people that want the day changed, that think Australia has to be ashamed of its history and aren't proud to be Australian. So, Pete, did you have anything you want to throw in?
I'm with Bella. I think it's really pleasing when you get results like this and you think, oh, it's great that people aren't ashamed to be Australian. Now, Bella, you, as a result of this poll, our Prime Minister was asked about Australia Day. Did that make you feel pumped that you'd made such big impact? And what did you make of his response?
Oh, I was really pleased. I was really chuffed, to say it in a very non-Australian way. The fact that, you know, the poll was mentioned on, I think, was it Sunrise? Sunrise? And he was right. He just said that there is no debate, and he's right. There is no debate. The Australians aren't debating whether they like Australia Day, whether that should be kept. It's just this, we're basically pushing it back against this narrative. And I think one of the most impressive results is that 85% of Australians are proud to be Australian. That's a huge number. And that's the same across all age groups. That wasn't just, 65 plus. That was 18 to 24-year-olds. As I say in the film, 82% of them are proud to be Australian. So that's a complete, opposite to this narrative that we keep hearing about how young people are pessimistic and they hate the country and they want to go and live somewhere else. And it's a lie, basically.
So with Scott Morrison now being asked about your question, we have a new entry into famous people that have or we most likely have engaged with Bella DeBrera content. So we have now Scott Morrison with this. We have the Queen reads the Times, I think it was.
Yes,
Bella had an article in the Times. There's a third one I'm forgetting.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
That's right.
All right, sorry,
Yeah.
rank them. Queen, Jordan Peterson,
Ooh,
Scott
so
Morrison.
easy. Queen.
Yeah.
Jordan
Number one.
Peterson. Queen, Jordan Peterson.
What's the gap between Queen
Scott
and Jordan
Morrison.
Peterson?
It's
Like, do I need a bus to get to between them? Can
you
I
need a
walk
jet.
it?
You
Is
need
it
a private jet.
Private jet.
Yeah.
Not even a regular jet.
no a private jet.
We're landing in something that's not an officially
Lots of
sanctioned
carbon
airfield.
emissions.
All
Yeah.
right.
I think the next thing for Bella has to be Trump. You've got to get in front of Trump.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Somehow.
Now, I've got one more question, James, before
Yes.
we move on. In this video, you looked like a sort of modern day, you're striding through the Australian outback. You look like a modern day jackaroo, if you will. Did this individual inspire you in the production of this video?
G'day, I'm Russell Coit and this is my backyard, the Aussie Outback.
He's been my hero for a long time.
Yeah, of course.
I can tell.
The amount of meetings that have to be delayed because Bella's got to catch up on the Russell Coit adventures.
Yeah.
All right. The other part for me is different about this year is a lack of media coverage before our poll came out about Australia Day. Because you think about how intense some of the debates have been in the past. Now, in one sense, that's because the Australian media landscape has, rightly so, been dominated by bushfire coverage the last couple of weeks. But I also start to think, has Change the Date had its time? Like, I don't think it's... have we reached peak Change the Date?
I think we reached peak Change the Date last year, actually. And I think after we released our poll results last year, which were similar to the ones that we released this year, I think we kind of killed the debate.
Yeah.
I think the bushfires also has a lot to do with it. It obviously dominated everyone's lives for a couple of months, and I think something like that really focuses the minds on what's important. And as Jacinta Price always talks about, changing the date is just completely irrelevant to what the Indigenous communities actually need to be talking about.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
similarly here, people losing their homes, people losing livestock, people losing their livelihoods. Why would you be talking about whether we need to change the date of Australia Day on the 26th?
Yeah.
So-
Absolutely
yeah.
right. All right. So, Bella, your poll and your article, that's both available on ipa.org.au. You can watch Bella talk about her results in the video we filmed where she, embraces the spirit of Russell Coit on our Facebook page. I think that's also on our Twitter page and also our YouTube channel. So, Bella, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bella.